direct conversation, some deep reactions, please. All this comics narration ain't late me. A little more talk, a lot less read. A little fight, baby, is what I need. Close the trade, open up your brains. Explain it to me. Explain it to me, baby. Explain it to me.
Thank you, Vandello, and welcome once again to Rhett Conversations. My name is Josh Wasta, and with me, she's here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's Leia Cameron.
Hello, everyone.
And joining us once again, and I have written your name down because I think I've screwed it up every time you've been on the show, and that is a lot because you've been on the show a lot. Patrick Stout Garrity, welcome, sir.
Yay!
Hey,
It's good. It's good. We're here on a lovely Burns Night Saturday, which is a Scottish holiday celebrating the life of poet Robert Burns, who is the official poet of Scotland.
Not Mr. Burns. Very important distinction. I made that mistake last time.
Excellent. And we have the three of us. We have ex-LARPers doing Blood Hunt.
Oh, man. Yep.
So if you're not familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, just know that there will be plenty of Vampire the Masquerade jokes happening throughout this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
It's gonna be impossible for me to keep from making at least a couple jokes. Like, if you're not familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, I apologize in advance. Maybe skip this one or go play Vampire the Masquerade. Up to you.
Or Vampire the Masquerade for about a decade and then come back.
That's right. Or just go and re-download Bloodlines, because now that I've mentioned it, you're going to re-download Bloodlines. And so, yes, we will be doing Blood Hunt, which is a 2024, so last summer's big kind of summer event. Fun fact is that we will be doing 5 issues of this, but there's a lot more. So this is one of those that, you know, for one reason or another, around Civil War, they started to go to like, there's 5 main things, but if you really want to get into the details, then there's 60 some other books with your favorite heroes to you know, go through. And I'm trying to remember how many are in this. So maybe if I go to the end of the last issue, nope, it's just going to give me like July. But it went for 4 months. There were a lot of books, lot of books in this. And I originally was all excited to go through all of them, and I got about halfway through as it was coming out. And so it's a lot. Oh, here we go. There are 53 books in this.
Wow.
We are going to go over 5, the 5 that are just Blood Hunt. But if you like this story, there's a lot more to get into. The other thing that I'll mention is this is the first one that we've done under Marvel started to release like the regular book and then the Red Band book, which is like the unrated explicit content version of these. And so I will be going through and this season we've started to show the comic to our guest. So I will be flipping through and these will be like explicit. We may even talk about how bloody it gets. My favorite part of this is that the alternate covers, which we're looking at right now, are like done in the old like Tales from the Crypt style.
Yes, I love this about them. It immediately made me very happy when I saw it.
Yeah. So like the first episode like has Thor's bloody head like being held by someone. It's like, holy shit. So let's jump right into it. If you have not listened to this episode before, welcome. This is how we are going to go through. I am Professor J. I will be taking Mr. Garrity through step by step Blood Hunt, all 5 issues. If Mr. Garrity has any questions, wants to make any comments, just wants to make an observation, he could pull the emergency brake on the entire show, stop us dead in our tracks, and ask that question, make that comment. If he does ask a question, it first goes to the assisting professor, Professor L. If she does not know, it gets thrown back to me. If neither one of us know, since the Baronessa is not here, she's actually...
Then, hey, wait, for this episode, since she's not here, if we don't know the answer to a question, we're going to pull up a source book.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's a good...
All right.
Good.
We're going to roll a d20 and see what we get.
Right. I like it. I like it. Yes, and one of those pips on that will be comic books, because
Yes.
sometimes even the internet doesn't know.
That'll be if you roll a 1.
Yeah, that's right. So, everybody ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm done ready.
here we
I'm
go.
ready for this.
So we begin with a countdown to sun death. 12 minutes before sun death, we see random heroes and villains and people freaking out. And basically what happens is that at sun death, so at 0, a cloud envelops the world, blocking up the sun. The cloud is made of portals that have appeared from any hero or villain who utilizes the dark force. So the examples that we are given is Blackout, Darkstar, Dusk, Silhouette, and Cloak, of which I know one of those.
Right.
The dark force is a whole thing. It's the dark hold is part of it. It's a dimension in and of itself. And for some
don't
reason,
think too hard about it.
yes, do not think too hard about it at all.
Too late.
Yeah. And so all of these heroes and villains all of a sudden are living portals. So yeah, portals that go up, block out the sun. The sun is now blocked out across the world. Moon Knight, or I'm sorry, Hunter's Moon and Tigra are basically right next to Blackout. They were fighting him or something when all of this happens. They realize that it's not an accident. It's a worldwide vampire attack.
Yes.
As vampires fall from everywhere.
Yeah,
And
it kind of looks like that what is it? World War Z
yes.
movie at the book.
Yes.
Movie.
Just like tons and tons of vampires. Yeah, which by the way, if you do like the World War Z kind of mob aesthetic, there's an amazing PlayStation game, Days Gone.
Oh.
It is like you're a biker in the zombie apocalypse. It's really, really, really good.
I've heard, I've never played it, but I've heard good things. Yeah.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. This gives me the want to go back and play it again, because it's a lot of fun. But anyway, yes, swarms and swarms of vampires. And it's not just in New York. We find out it is in Milan, it is in Lagos, it is in Calgary, it is in Tianjin, it is in Colombia, it is in South Korea, like everywhere. The entire world is being attacked by vampires all at the same time.
Cool.
That's an awful lot of shovelheads.
Yes. This is absolutely a shovelhead invasion.
And we find out that it is happening in every country in the world except Latveria, where we follow two people who are like running from vampires, and one person's like, no, we can't trespass. We cannot trespass. And the guy's like, we have no choice. We'll die. And they cross the border of Latveria, and once the vampires cross it, they burst into flames and die.
Yes.
And then we go to our boy, Dr. Doom, who's looking down from like his castle, and he's like, excellent, the borders are secure. Now ensure that Doom's new subjects are attended to, because loyalty stems naturally from gratitude. So there are some times that Dr. Doom is not done correctly, but by the way, this is not one of those books. This is
a book where I was excited to see Dr. Doom. A plus work on Dr. Doom.
I would say probably not since God Emperor Doom have we seen a Doom this awesome.
Yes, this Doom kicks ass.
Back in Brooklyn, Miles Morales is fighting vampires and being like, fuck. And then he just says, okay, what would Blade do? To which Blade walks out of the shadows and is like, I've got a plan and I need something from you, Spider-Man.
I was also excited to see Blade show up here. I was like, oh, perfect.
Well, yes, this would make the most sense, right?
Right. Like I'd be disappointed if he wasn't in the series. Like,
Right?
Exactly.
I would question my entire life.
The Avengers are fighting vampires, as you do. The Avengers in this case are Thor, Black Panther, Vision, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, and Captain Marvel. All of them are like, we have no idea who could have done this, and Vision points out that Dracula is unaccounted for, which does not take somebody as smart as Vision to be like, the first person you think of is Dracula.
Right.
To be fair, I would not have thought of Dracula because Dracula is like, he's not real. I mean, I know he's real in Marvel, but like, it'd be like, has anybody checked on Lestat? Like,
Yeah. Now, for a deep dive into some of the things that we'll be getting into, there are Easter eggs in this comic to a video game that I've played that is called Midnight Suns. It is amazing. Again, another video game that I love, but in it, you in the DLC for it, you do fight vampires, and Dracula's involved, and Blade is in there, and so is like Captain Marvel. And
That is based on the Marvel team, the Midnight Suns.
yes and no. There is a brand new character that is new to the Marvel Universe that's introduced in it. That is the character that you play. And it pulls like a bunch of random characters for the Midnight Suns, which I loved.
okay.
And in fact, I'm going to get into this because we do have a little bit of extra time because this is not going to be that long. But the main characters that come in are Blade, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, which, by the way, is the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, which is my favorite Ghost Rider. Bruce Banner, the Hunter, which is the new character that is introduced, Iron Man, Magic, Nico Minoru, who is she's part of the Runaways.
I always think she's like, I always want to follow that up with Suzuki.
Right. Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and Wolverine are the main ones. The DLCs introduce Deadpool, because of course they do, Morbius, Storm, and Venom.
Nice.
If you can find this in the buying all of like it in one pack, absolutely do it. It's like the way that you fight is like cards mixed with XCOM for each hero. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, there are references to that in this, especially when Carol kind of talks about Blade, because in the comics they haven't interacted that much, but in this game there is an entire subplot about how Blade has a crush on Carol. And I love it. I love it so much. But anyway, so Sam Wilson's like, okay, this does not feel like Dracula. Dracula has his own vampire nation, and he just put together this vampire nation. So, like, this doesn't, like, conquering the world does not feel like Dracula right now. But, you know, who knows? They get an alert, a priority alert from Blade, who's like, I'm on the run and have information. He is driving like a large semi-truck, garbage truck kind of thing. And he says, lock onto my coordinates and teleport this rig up to the Impossible City and meet me there. Which they do. Now, I did not know what the Impossible City was.
Neither did I.
I don't either.
Okay, so you know how in DC the Justice League have the Hall of Justice or whatever it is, that's basically a satellite that is in space?
Yeah, the tower.
Sure.
Yeah. This is, I guess, Marvel's version of that only showed up in 2023. It's a sentient city that for a while was taken over by aliens who were jumping from planet to planet and through the multiverse, killing different heroes and stuff. And they somehow freed the city. So now the city became an Avenger.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Those are definitely words you said.
that you put all together to
I
make a
figured
thingy.
you see, my guess was that it was just like a space helicarrier. That's like,
All right, that would have been good enough, but
but apparently it was not good enough for Marvel.
I guess not.
ancient alien city that's now an event. All right.
Anyways,
Impossible City. I immediately thought of like the old Fantastic Four villain, Impossible Man. They got the guy. Yeah, I remember him, and I was like, all right, that sounds fun. And then it wasn't.
What was this?
yeah, it was this instead.
Sentient alien Avenger City. And they have this Avenger, and yet they don't have Black Widow in this.
Son of a bitch!
Well, she's been running around with her symbiote, so.
Son of a bitch!
So the Avengers beam up to their city and then beam up the truck. And the truck is filled with villains that I've never heard of. They are collectively called the Blood Coven.
Yes, they
And
are brand new.
They are ultimate vampires.
Yes, they are brand new for this series. For the record, because I actually did look that up because I was like, what have I missed?
Yeah, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah, they were made for this series, but they're cool as hell. Look at how cool they are.
They do look very cool, and they do have some fun powers. And their names are Bloodstorm 1, Megrim, Cruel, Unusual, Damascene, and Smoke Eater.
Yeah.
I
I played with all of these guys in Kenosha.
I played with all these guys in Tampa years ago.
Yeah. I mean, we just got Ice Dragon here, so we didn't get quite this grim dark. Yes, and if you're not seeing the picture, they look about as you would expect they would with those names.
Yes.
Yeah. All of them are going to the club after game.
Very
They are not changing out of their costumes.
No.
No. Why would you?
Yeah. Neo is happening tonight. So
Fuck yeah.
so yeah, big fight. They basically jump the Avengers because the Avengers don't know what they can do, and so we're starting to see like Damascene can cut through anything, which includes like intangible synthesoid molecules, so he can cut vision somehow.
Yeah. He's like living knife, basically.
Yeah.
Can you pause do egg?
It's true. And they go through fortitude.
Yes.
Shout out to Reed Woldridge, who had puppets that did that for a while.
Damn it.
God.
Fucking puppet plot. Very quickly, Thor, Wanda, and T'Challa are taken out and incapacitated. T'Challa basically is able to get the Impossible City to teleport Cap, Vision, Iron Man, and Captain Marvel out. And all of them are having issues basically because Megrim is eating their thoughts and leaving agony.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like Megrim is like a big headache monster of indeterminate gender.
Yes. This will be important later because a lot of them can't think straight, so can't formulate like tactics or a plan, which is why they get their ever-loving asses kicked.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they are teleported out, which T'Challa especially is like, you all need to get out, but especially Cap, because Cap is an icon and Cap needs to tell the world and basically embolden the world, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the Blood Coven is like, man, I really wish you hadn't have done that. And then like Thor's down, Scarlet Witch is down, and one of them just sticks their fist through T'Challa. And it's like, nope, you're getting punished. We're not going to kill you, but you're getting punished. So yeah, back in New York, we're going to go to Bleecker Street, where Cleo and Doctor Strange, Cleo being Doctor Strange's wife, if you're not that familiar with Doctor Strange, she was Charlize Theron at the end of
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Like, so hopefully she will show up soon as that. But anyway, in the comics, they are married, and they are a basically witch sorcerer team, which is
Power
awesome.
couple.
Right.
They're basically saying if they can assemble the Montesi formula, all of this can end immediately. We will. It's a spell to fucking kill every vampire on Earth immediately.
Oh, did you mean Chilla the Windsaber?
Yes. Blade shows up and is like, "Hey, don't you need the Darkhold to do that?" And Wanda like ate the Darkhold at some point.
Seems like something she'd do, honestly.
Right.
Apparently, the Blade also says that the vampires call themselves the Structure, and they're a vampire cult. And apparently,
What's that sound like a WWE? That sounds like a WWE tag team.
The Structure.
It's like join the Structure.
Oh my god! Now I want Edge to bring back the Brood and make it the Structure.
He tried, and then he fucking jumped off a cage and broke his legs. So,
well, that's true. He jumped off the Structure.
He sure did, and it did not work in his favor. And then we had to return Gangrel back to White Wolf. So
that's right.
Brood anymore.
That's such one of my favorite little details about WWE is the fact that White Wolf still owns the name Gangrel, and so anytime Gangrel does something, they have to credit White Wolf.
Yep.
So
I was there during that whole drama. I remember.
A few weeks ago, there was an event LARP here in Vegas, and I was going. And I told one of my coworkers, and he's like, "You should dress like that wrestler, Gangrel. Do you know anything about him?" And I was like, "Oh, honey, come on."
You get two ghouls with really long blonde hair, puffy pirate shirts.
Incredible.
Oh, so what we do find out about this vampire cult, by the way, is that Moon Knight has killed their leader, and then died. Moon Knight is dead.
Oh,
yeah. The guy who wrote this, for the record, he went from working Moon Knight to directly to this. So there's a lot of Moon Knight in here, and Moon Knight is cool, and I love Moon Knight. That's all.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, Moon Knight's brother,
yes.
who is Hunter's Moon, which again, cool name. Yeah. But Blade is saying that this cult basically found a new leader, and the new leader had a 3-step plan. One was using antediluvian Atlantean rituals to detonate Dark Force users to turn them into portals to block out the sun. So, check. 2, global uprisings mobilizing legions of mass-turned maniacs all across the globe, striking at population centers, critical infrastructures, and the like. Check. And 3, taking out the Avengers. And basically, yeah, Strange and Clear are like, and how do you do that? And he's like, a kill squad. Ultra vampires fed superhuman blood. And they are called the Blood Coven, and they are a match for the Avengers. They are there to take out the Avengers. And by the way, the Avengers are down. And Strange is like, okay, cool. So we need to do this spell, and we need to kill every vampire on Earth. And Blade's like, you do that? Because some of them are on your side, right? Like, you know, and he's basically like, I'm a doctor. If I must cut away a limb to save the patient, I will do it. I'm like, okay. And Blade's like, okay, cool. I know that Wanda wouldn't cast the spell, which we'll get into later, which is an amazing line.
Made me laugh so hard, but yes.
So Steven's like, so is Dracula the new leader? And Blade's like, no, nothing like that. It's me. And he cuts Stephen Strange in half.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I got very excited when I read this because I turned that page and I was like, oh. Like genuine shock. You got me. You got me in the first half, Blood On. I'm not gonna lie. Like, holy shit. Where did that? It was crazy.
So he drove the bus full of bad guys into the Avengers.
Right.
So
He sure did.
He sure did.
He kind of knew something was up with Blade.
Yes. And so that is the end of issue number 1. In fact, I should just share this screen instead of, because I have to open every file as we go. Here we go. There's my where are you? Blood Hunt number 2. All right. So we have the old school Tales from the Crypt with Wolverine, who is not in any of the main books. So yeah, Wolverine does have stories in this, but not in the actual main 5, which is funny. So in the Impossible City that Blade has now taken over, he has basically kept Thor incapacitated, kept runic bindings on Scarlet Witch, and has turned T'Challa into a vampire. And he's basically like, go on, try to fight me, T'Challa. You can't. I'm the Lord of the Vampires. Which apparently the Lord of the Vampires has control over every other vampire. This has been kind of a thing for a while. And usually Dracula's the Lord of the Vampires. So there is even a what if that I remember that was what if Wolverine became Lord of the Vampires.
Oh,
yeah. So Blade is basically like, yep, I have jobs for all of you. Blood Coven, find my daughter, and T'Challa, you go find my artifact. And we're not going to find out what those are for a little bit. But in New York, we see who he's talking about. We see Brielle Brooks, who is Blade's daughter. And I did not know anything about her. She's a fucking badass, and I love her.
She's very cool.
Little pleated skirt with a jacket, half shaved head. I'm all about Brielle Brooks. She looks amazing.
Yes.
So she's that LARPer that shows up to one game and never comes back because all the guys are gross.
Yes, absolutely. And or I would also allow she's somebody's teen daughter that they brought to game that they probably shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to bring my kid with, so she could, learn what I do on the weekends. And you're like, why did you do that?
Yeah, that is a bad idea.
I can't afford both a babysitter and to come to game.
Right.
Well, take care of your child.
Which, by the way, they would recognize me later because I was substitute teaching, and I would walk into the classroom, and they'd be like, "Oh, you pretend to be a vampire on the weekends with my parents?" And I'd be like, "Go to the fucking principal's office."
That's a suspension.
That's a peddling. So yeah, she's basically just killing vampires. To which somebody off screen is like, "We do not have time for this," and it's Dracula. Dracula is like her stepdad, like just hanging out with her.
Yeah.
So her mom has a type, is what you're saying.
Yes. And I love this exchange because he's like, you have a destiny and it's too important to be risking your life for these insignificance. And she's like, I think the word you meant was innocence. And they are approached by someone. We do not know who yet. Back in Uptown, Tigra and Hunter's Moon, meet up with Miles Morales, who's like, hey, did you say Doctor Strange? I'm on my way to see Doctor Strange, but I can't find his building for some reason.
He never gave me his address.
Right. Oh, sweet Miles. And they're like in front of the building and they're like, yeah, it's real inconspicuous. And like they're pointing at it and it's like the giant window.
You're right.
Right.
And Miles is like, listen, when do I get to the village? Never. So yeah, Tiger knocks on the door and the door is answered by Stephen Strange's ghost. It's like, yep. So yeah, Blade cut me in half and then like turned my body into a vampire for good measure. So, I'm kind of out of the fight when it comes, like Clea's like basically holding him together.
Just a few minor setbacks. No big deal.
Yeah. Right. Been here before. And so back with Dracula and Brienne, it is that the Blood Coven has found Dracula. And immediately Dracula's like, kneel, I am the Lord of Vampires. And they're like, nope, false lord, false king.
We're the Sabbat, you see. We don't care.
To which the remaining Avengers show up and start helping Dracula and Brienne. And of course the Blood Coven is like, aha, we've kicked your ass before. And they're like, yes, but we've had time to plan now. Vision grabs Megrim, flies up through the like cloud, like blood or
Yeah.
dark cold clouds to where the sun is, and is like, boom. So now the Blood Coven has lost their like psychic attack, and the Avengers just start beating their asses. To which Carol is like, "Tell me what happened to Blade," and they're like, "The Master? The Master has become the vessel. He is the vessel of our dreams for the unending night."
Yes.
There's a lot of grim dark bullshit.
I mean, it's a lot of times it's when the Blood Coven is speaking, so they talk exactly pretty much how you'd expect. Be like, no, like they don't sound like Thor, but they do sound like the most insufferable like guy at the game.
Have we found out what org the writer played in?
No, good question though. Good question. Keep those questions coming.
Hard hitting issue.
With the Academy, One Road by Night, Hidden Parlor,
Let's see. Jay McKay is the writer. He's a Canadian. He's a fucking Canadian.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's one of those people that says that a town of 10,000 people actually has a town of 10 million.
I guess Winnipeg. No, I don't think it was One World by Night because so far we have not yet encountered any vampire named after a professional wrestler.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Handheld railgun.
Yes, yeah. That's
sunlight bombs.
yeah. Well,
I mean, okay, maybe a little bit later. But like we also said, the costuming here is pretty nice. So I'm guessing Cam Club.
Yeah.
Cam Club was also always much better at costuming. So anyway, the Avengers kick their asses. And yes, and here is the sunlight bomb because Vision, while he was up there, just went ahead and just grabbed a bunch of solar energy and then flies back down and releases it on the Blood Coven. Carol just fires her beam up into the sky, breaking through the darkness to get some sunlight. And the Blood Coven run away. Actually doing their next time, Avengers, next time.
Yeah. It was great. I loved it.
So they Dr. Claw the fuck away. Next time, Gadget. And while they're there, the Avengers then go with Dracula and Brienne, and they all meet at Bleecker Street. And the moment that Brienne sees Miles and is like, "Oh, I know you," Miles freaks out and shows that he's a vampire. It's turned him into a vampire.
Yay.
Of issue 3 or issue 2. And actually, it's Miles just gets fucked with every one of these events, right?
I know. I always feel so bad for Miles. I'm like, oh, what are they going to do to Miles this time?
So I know Leia probably won't get this. You might, Josh. His name is Miles, just like Miles O'Brien.
Yes.
So 9, so Miles must suffer. Like that's got to be
right. That's absolutely true. He is, and in fact, he's half Dominican and half black. So yeah, he takes the Irishman role from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Miles. We have another amazing cover.
That is a fun one right there.
That is very reminiscent because it's got the featuring Blade, Dracula, Doctor Strange on the side. It does have the Fantastic Four on this cover. Once again, the Fantastic Four do not show up anywhere in this. So yeah, back on the Impossible City, Blade is talking to T'Challa, and T'Challa says, yes, the artifact that you seek is buried deep under Wakanda. And so Blade's like, excellent, then you know what to do. Have the city spin up its mass translocation devices and send it up to the Impossible City. To which, like, from her cage, Wanda is like, it looks like you got everything you wanted. Oh, that's nice. Well, the Avengers are going to kick your ass. And, like, just basically starts shit-talking him, which I love. And then Megrim's like, oh, look, your Blood Coven's returned. I can't help but notice that one's missing. What happened there? Back at the Sanctum, Miles is vamping out on everyone, but it's him versus like all the Avengers and everyone else. So Vision is able to subdue him. Well, actually, Strange is able to Clea is able to subdue him, while Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto on him, which basically lets him. He's still a vampire, but he's calm about being a vampire. And it breaks the Lord of Vampires' control over Miles. So Miles is like, "Oh my God, Blade told me I had to hunt for her, and I had to kill her, but I couldn't fight it." And and Steam's like, "Yep, welcome to the team. My body's a vampire too." So they basically say there's only one person that can kill Blade, and that is Brienne, who, because she is his daughter, apparently there's something about being part of the bloodline. You're the only person that can hurt this Blade for reasons. Yeah. The Avengers do wisely question why Dracula, the leader of a vampire nation, would help them. And he has a very good answer. He's like, "I like my nation. It took me a long time to build my nation, and my nation would fall just like any of the human ones if Blade wins. I'd much rather just have my vampire nation." And they're all kind of talking a bit about this and like getting into like the prophecies and bloodlines and shit like that and the Dark Force. And while they're all talking, Brienne just skips. She just like pulls her dad and disappears. Miles is like, "I'm gonna go track her down and go talk to her because y'all freaked her the fuck out telling her she had to kill her dad." And Dracula's like, "Do not lecture me. I'm going to." And they bounce. Strange starts to be like, "Guys, don't." And Clea's like, "We do not have time to chase after them. We have shit to do. And all of us will have our own missions." Tigra and Hunter's Moon are like, "Yes, we have a plan, but we do need you to teleport us to a specific place to go and get someone." They don't say who yet, and it's a great reveal. Clea and Strange are like, "Yep, we have to go somewhere too." And the Avengers are like, "Okay, well, that means that we have to go fight Blade in the Blood Coven. We'll hold the fort down, I guess. But he's not going to just come out of his impossible city. We have to draw him out. And we have a plan for that too, which is great." So everybody is like, okay, team, we need to split up. And Carol asks Tony if he can set up an illegal broadcast. And Tony's like, duh. And they're all like, "Okay, Cap needs to deliver this message to the entire world, reassure people and get them like ready. Because that's what T'Challa saved you for." So then, they do a telecast across the entire world, which at this point happens like every other week in Marvel Comics.
I guess.
Like people take over the airwaves all the fucking time. But everywhere, all over the city, Sam gives a message of hope, of basically like, "Listen, we've been here before. Like the world has been here before, and every time we say no, and we save the world. So we're gonna do it again. So everybody, if you want your, if you believe in us, things will be okay. You will be avenged. Everything will be fine. The sun will shine again. Captain America out." I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it is a very good Cap speech. And Carol's like, "That was perfect." And Sam's like, "Actually, it's kind of what T'Challa and I told the Impossible City to get him to get the city to join us. So I'm hoping the city recognizes like the speech and is able to fight Blade's control." And Carol is like, "I know Blade more than anything. He's cool. But that thing up there, whatever's wearing his skin, is not cool."
Thank you, Carol. That was very insightful.
So much like Carlos Colon, she spits in the face of the people who don't want to be cool. He bites an apple and spits it in their face. More wrestling links.
Oh, boy.
Up in the Impossible City, Cap's message has pissed Blade off. And he's like, Panther, you know what? Retarget the mass location drives. Drop the artifact in the middle of fucking New York. Which he does. And the artifact is actually an entire temple that came from Atlantis. And he drops it on Times Square like a fucking meteor. And the name of the temple is the Temple of the First Blasphemy.
And it's from the antediluvian caves of Wakanda. So you know that it's got like, you know, some first, second, third gens in there somewhere.
That's right.
Okay.
They actually use the word antediluvian so much in this. I'm telling you, this person had to be in Camp Club.
I'm surprised that White Wolf hasn't sued them.
They do love doing that.
They do. Can confirm was a coordinator. Okay, so moving on to issue number 4. Again, great. Fucking great.
Yes.
Tony Stark buried underneath with his Iron Man suit on top of a grave that Blade is walking away with a shovel.
Yeah.
Yep. He's been
Good.
shoveled, everyone. Tony Stark. He's a shovelhead.
We did an episode of Tales from the Crypt with Jason L. Blair, actually. And
Oh, wonderful.
oh my god, it was so much fun. Specifically we did graphically novel, not Red
Yes.
Conversations, but yeah.
Yes.
So, Blade has relocated to the Temple of the First Blasphemy. He is with the Blood Coven and T'Challa. T'Challa surmises that Blade isn't Blade. And he's like, yes, you are correct. I am something much older. I am Varney, the first vampire. And so his plan is that, but in Latveria, Stephen Strange, still in his ghost form, and Clea have gone to talk to Dr. Doom about helping them. And Doom knows everything that's going on. He's the one that tells Clea and Strange, yep, it's Varney, he's possessed Blade. He's and I have the ritual. Absolutely. I have the knowledge, I have the ritual. We can stop this. We can save the world. But I'm gonna need to be Sorcerer Supreme to do that. Also, I've stolen all of I've kidnapped all of your Strange Academy kids, which this is a comic that I've not read, but now seeing this, I really want to.
That was exactly my reaction too. That was my reaction as well. Like the minute I flipped to this page, I was like, "Oh, I don't know what this is, but I do know I'm into it."
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
He's gonna dope as fuck.
Yeah, no, it's like all these kids learning magic. Stephen Strange has put them all in the Stephen Strange Academy.
It kind of gives Umbrella Academy vibes, but like crossed with like X-Men except magic users, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Yeah, like the next class kind of X-Men stuff that was just a bunch of younger kids. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I have not read it, but it's going on my list to
No, put it on a
check out.
podcast list. I'm into it.
Absolutely. So this is one that we would actually be happy to do, everyone.
Yes. Choose this one and not another X-Men book. Thank you.
This is X-Men, kinda.
So that should satisfy your need, and we don't ever have to do another X-Men story again.
Right.
But not lame.
Right. But it's great because Stephen Strange is like, okay, so for a ritual of this size, we would need a bunch of magicians. I can assemble, and Doom's like, no need, already took them. And like they're just over in a corner. It's so good. And I love it because there's that moment where Clea goes, never mind.
Yes. It just doesn't even get into it with Doom. It's just like, okay, that you know what?
You're fucking Doom. We get
This
it.
is a limited series. We don't have the time.
Right.
But yes, and the cherry on top of this is in order for Doom to cast this world-saving spell, he needs to be the Sorcerer Supreme. Meanwhile, in Asgard, Tigra and Hunter's Moon are in Asgard to find someone, and it brings them to an Asgardian prison cell. From inside, Khonshu is like, my loving son, so kind of you to visit your father, but I have no power to lend you to open my cage. And Hunter's Moon's like, you're right. I don't have the power to open this. I have no key or anything else. Good thing we went and got the Wrecker. Guardian crowbar. So Wrecker basically is like, yep, I'm able to open this up because crowbar.
You sure? Sure, crowbar of God. I'll take it.
Oh. And I just recently rewatched She-Hulk, and I love the Wrecker in She-Hulk.
Yes.
Just the Wrecking Crew is such a dumb concept, and it has gotten so much mileage.
Yeah.
So the Wrecker is there to free Khonshu, the moon god.
Yes.
Back in back in the temple.
The Temple of First Blasphemy. Please say the whole name every time, sir.
If it uses its proper name.
Temple of the First Blasphemy. Blade is like walking around just like, yes, I was there in old Atlantis and blah, 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 blah. Actually, I'm from now on, I'm not going to say Blade. I'm going to say Varney because he's a whole other thing. He was there when the Darkhold was transcribed, and especially here, Blade and T'Challa are not really drawn that differently. So I was a little confused on this page. Because they've drawn black guys to look alike. I mean, there's no other way to really go about saying it.
The art is pretty good.
I would add that Sam also looks very similar to both of them too.
Yeah. Like the art in this is pretty good, except when it comes, unfortunately, to the black characters, in which they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, Sam is easier because they never take off his red goggles.
Right.
But T'Challa is not Black Panthered up, and he and Blade, like when you just see the face, he and Blade both have goatees.
Right.
Both have short cropped hair. And I mean, their costumes are different, but when you're just showing the face, it's really hard.
There's the other problem too, is they're similarly colored because, Blade is in his, Blade trench coat or whatever, and T'Challa is in like the Black Panther suit and like that kind of a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, just an interesting choice artistically.
Yeah.
Racist ass artwork.
Yes. So Varney is going to perform the ritual that he's planned on for centuries. He has the living Darkhold, he has the blood of a god, and he's in a place of immense power. And he talks about how Atlantis sunk, and he lived for centuries as a ghost until he could possess a half-human, half-vampire, and that now he will evolve to become the end of all things. Which, calm down a bit. A little thirsty.
Having a normal one over here for Arne.
So he starts basically becoming the unliving Dark Force. He just starts pulling all of the Dark Force into himself. But while he's doing that, the moon appears in the sky.
Yeah! I cheered, I'm not gonna lie. I was excited about this.
Yeah. Because Khonshu's here, and Khonshu brings with him his undead fucking army, led by a resurrected Moon Knight.
Yeah, so I guess in the previous Moon Knight ongoing, Mark Spector died. He's fine now because Khonshu was freed from this prison. So I was excited again. Like I fucking love Moon Knight.
Yep.
The Jewish boy Mark Spector.
Yep. Where's my fucking money, Dracula?
Well, so when you said earlier that he had died killing off the previous Lord of all vampires.
Yeah.
So
now he's like really pissed.
So he got his money from Dracula and died for it. And, yep. Let's start playing some Arabic rap music.
Yeah.
This next battle is fucking great. It's just the army of the moon, the undead army of the moon, just wiping through vampires.
Yeah.
And Khonshu, like in his like little skull form, just walking through, being like, "I am free."
I love Khonshu.
Again, I need to rewatch Moon Knight now too. What a great
show. This made me really want to both read Moon Knight ongoing and rewatch Moon Knight and also be friends with Moon Knight.
I mean, I want to be friends with 2/3 of Moon Knight. I'm cool with 2/3 of his personalities.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Blades starts with a V. Hold on. Varney's like, it's the moon god. Too late, won't do any good. And while he's there, T'Challa turns on him. and goes to stab him. And like Verne stops him real easily, but is like, what did you think you were gonna do? But by the way, how did you break my control? And T'Challa's like, well, the heart-shaped herb fights infection, and it's been healing me little by little, so I just had to basically play in my moment. And Varney's like, okay, well, no matter, too little, too late. You think you were just gonna kill me with that like little blade there? And T'Challa's like, no, but I did take it out of Thor, and it was keeping him incapacitated. So now Thor's here.
He's pissed.
And he's not happy at all. Yeah. And then the rest of the Avengers show up. So now we are Avengers v. Varney. It's time for the big fight. Let's do this. End of issue 4. So we jump to the last issue, issue 5. Again, a great cover of Miles's severed arm with a web just hanging. Oh, so good.
It's lovely.
In Latveria, Clea's like, you're out of your goddamn mind if you think. And Doom's like, listen, I possess the knowledge. I can do the ritual, but I can't do it without the immense power of the Sorcerer Supreme, because its job is to save the world. And Strange is like, you're right. You've completely outmaneuvered me. You would need to be Sorcerer Supreme. But tell me, did you engineer this entire vampires attacking the world thing just for this moment? To which Doom does not answer him. We go back to New York. Big fight. The Avengers assemble. They also are able to free Wanda, who joins them. So now your hockey team is at full strength with Wanda out of the penalty box. T'Challa tells Sam that his speech was able to reach him through the vampire disease. So Sam Wilson is a bard casting Inspire on the world.
Yes.
Iron Man tells Wanda to cast the kill all vampires spell, the Montesi formulae, and she says she will not cause a genocide ... again.
Hey, you know what? At least she acknowledges previous harm, right? Like, that's growth. That's personal growth, baby.
Yep. Oh, House of M. Oh, House of M.
I love you, Wanda. You're gonna be okay.
They continue on their big fight back in Latveria. Doom is like, okay, listen, this is what's going on right now. The Avengers have engaged Varney. The moon god Khonshu is there. The dead acolytes are there. Everybody's fighting the vampires, but it still won't be enough. I need to have the mantle. I need to be ready to cast this ritual. And Stephen Strange is like, okay, prove to me that I've been wrong about you. Once the world is saved, I want your oath. I want your word that you will return the mantle to me. And Doom says, you have my word. The word of Doom. And Strange transfers the mantle, and Doom becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. Stephen Strange says, all hail the Sorcerer Supreme. And Doom says, no, all hail Doom. That's fucking Doom.
This also made me cheer, but
Right? Outside the Temple of the First Blasphemy, Dracula and Brienne and Miles are there, basically getting ready for Brienne to go in and take out her dad. She's like, I have the responsibility, and Miles is like, no, I get that. And she goes to enter the Temple of the First fucking Blasphemy. Doom, meanwhile, Vision keeps using his like sunlight tricks, but he's quickly running out. Moon Knight shows up with the Avengers. It is like, I'm here, I'm back, and I brought friends. Just such a Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Doom, meanwhile, is like, I've been preparing for this eventuality. We're gonna, do this. He weaves together all known forms of magic into one giant ritual, which I'll admit is badass. I'm not that familiar with all the different types of magic, because magic is not really my wheelhouse in Marvel. But he specifically says he's using human, Faultine, fairy, and weird worlder magic.
I only
Um,
recognize 2 of those 4 things.
Yes. And I know that Doom originally learned the magic that he originally learned was fairy magic. Because he went to Avalon and like all that weird stuff that usually is in Excalibur comics. But I mean, weaving all this together, it's cool. I like it. Back at the fight, the Avengers are losing against Varney because he is taking a dimension's worth of dark force into himself. Of course, he says, nothing can hurt me. I had only one weakness, the girl, the bloodline, and she's not here. To which she does show up and goes to attack him and like stabs him with a sword. And he's like, nope, too late. My possession of your father has gone on too long. The body is as much mine as it is his. You're his bloodline. You're not mine. And it all seems lost when Miles shows up and goes, okay, well, how about both of us? And Miles is basically like, you turned me into a vampire, so that means that between the two of us, we're both your bloodline, both halves of you. So they hold him up in this amazing, like the sword goes lightning and is destroying Blade's body. Meanwhile, Doom feels the hold break and reverses all of the Dark Force portals to let basically the sun in. Wanda forces Varney's spirit out of Blade's body and traps Varney. And, Brienne's like, oh my God, Dad, I'm sorry. And Blade's like, no, you did exactly what I taught you to do. Tony shows up and is like, nah, we're going to be able to save Blade. That's fine. He's going to have a nasty scar. To which Blade goes, what's one more? So yeah, everybody's happy. Everything's good. Everything's saved. Strange, meanwhile, reminds Doom of his promise, and Doom says, yes, I told you I would return it once I had saved the world, but I've only started saving the world. And he captures Stephen Strange's spirit and says, I will show you what it is to save a world. Meanwhile, the sun has come out, to which Miles is like, oh no, the sun! And he's not getting burned by it. So now the sun somehow no longer affects vampires.
Yep, all vampires are daywalkers now. They all have that shitty merit.
Yep. Meanwhile, a mass communication priority broadcast goes out to every screen on the planet, because of course it does, because it's Tuesday. To which Doom tells everyone that the vampire threat is over. The world is safe thanks to your new Sorcerer Supreme, Victor Von Doom. And that is the end.
So, that was...
And another thing that I do want to read, because there's an ad for it. One World Under Doom apparently started last November, and I am here for it.
Yes. I if the Doom that was in this series is that Doom, I actually am deeply interested.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's, oh man, this was so fun. Like, I did not.
This was wild.
I didn't expect like something that was going to be life changing or anything, or like I was gonna walk away from this and be like, that gave me a lot to think about, this fun. Like, it was just fun.
Yeah.
It was like, a perfect worlds collide of, past hobbies.
Yeah.
Exactly. There are so many things that I was looking at while I was reading this that I was like, because like, I'm like, self-referential. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that, or I was at that conclave or whatever. But like,
Yes.
I remember that coterie.
Exactly.
or you're just kind of mentally casting people, be like, oh yeah, I also LARP the Blood Coven, like.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was I enjoyed this a great deal. I hope you did too.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I almost kind of want to go visit the other like sub stories in this event. Just maybe not all of them, but certainly some of them, because
All those 48 comics.
yeah, Yeah, like I don't necessarily care about like what Wolverine is up to during this time, but I do want to see, the Captain America and whatnot. I think he's got his own couple of issues.
Yeah, let me bring this up because I have all of them.
Oh, you do?
Have
Okay.
not read them, so I'll load them in our drive.
Okay.
But there is, so it
Oh,
starts with
wow.
the vengeance of the Moon Knight. Amazing. So Peter Parker's around in this.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange has some stuff. Dracula has his
Dracula.
own. The Strange Academy. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
There we are.
Venom's around in this. Union Jack.
Union Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. He's
He's
Britain's only
vampire hunting Union Jack. That's kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah, right? I mean, there's some cool concepts in here. Black Panther's
Yeah.
in here. There's Midnight Suns, of course there is. X-Men, the Fantastic Four, as we talked about, Wolverine, more Strange Academy, which I'm excited about, Venom. Yeah. So
Nice.
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty in there.
Oh heck yeah, I'm gonna have a nice time. Moon Knight, Moon
Moon
Knight,
Knight.
Moon Knight, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Yes.
All right. And One World Under Doom is a thing, apparently.
What a time to be alive.
So, how did we do explaining this sucker?
It was great. You did a very thorough job. You were able to connect it to the beloved Vampire the Masquerade experience that we've all participated in, and it was very dynamic and exciting. There's a lot of enthusiasm. You did a great job.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Always glad to hear. So yeah, tune in next time, which for us is tomorrow, when we'll have my lovely wife, the Baronessa, here to talk about the Astonishing X-Men, Joss Whedon's run, which I'm super excited about. It's one of my favorite X-Men books, and it's actually a fun read.
That's what I've heard. So I'm actually, believe it or not, looking forward to reading it. I hope I don't come to regret that, but
I think you'll have a good time, and I'm hopeful that it ushers in us to continue on this Astonishing X-Men run, to do more of them, because Joss Whedon, I think, does the first 3 trades, and then in a moment of excruciating whiplash, it immediately goes to Warren Ellis. So who takes over the story that Joss Whedon was telling.
well, all right.
Grinding from here.
Oh yeah. So a very much a different take. It's both very fun. Both artists, writers that I enjoy a great deal. Both of them have had problematic, things said about them. But you know what? Even Neil Gaiman's a scumbag. So yeah, guys.
Yep. I have to assume I don't ever want to hear anything about Tom King's personal life.
Right.
Please don't ever look into him. I don't want to know.
Yeah. If it's not he's releasing this new book, I don't want to read news on him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, please keep all of his personal life far, far away from me, because I wouldn't be able to
That's right.
to manage it. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the Keanu Reeves of comics. I get it. There are very few straight white load-bearing men left.
Yes.
And they're doing a lot of work. They're doing a lot of work. Well, anyway, until next time, take it away, Vandello.
A little wreck conversation, some deep reactions, please. All this comics narration ain't elating me. A little more talk, a lot less read. A little fight, baby, is what I need. Close the trade, open up your brains. Explain it to me. Explain it to me, baby. Explain it to me. Explain it to me, baby. Explain it to me. Vandello 2021.